Hello, my name is Richard and welcome to the second episode of my Mk1 Golf restoration. So in the previous episode, I got this corner window panel welded in. Pretty big milestone, first proper panel that I've welded to a car, at least one that's going to be visible anyway, or fairly visible. And in this one, we'll be cracking on with getting the top of this inner wing section welded. So let's get to it. Okay, so before we crack on with the fun bit, I noticed that the replacement panel isn't actually big enough. So this will be the second time that I've extended it, and it's a bit of a theme that I'm noticing with repair panels. So my first job is to get this extended to make sure that the window panel has enough material to be properly welded to and provide strength. So yeah, cracking on with that first. Right, so got this panel extended now, so they should fit together nicely. I've been spending some time getting the kind of both panels nice and flush, and making sure there's, you know, a fairly minimal gap, a little bit big here, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, basically making sure that that's nice and flush. I also extended the front a little bit because I cut too much off. And I've keyed the entire surface up whilst it's off, just because it'll be easier to do that now, you know, whilst it's off, particularly in those like little gaps, so that when we come to paint it, yeah, it's not too much of a mission to prep the panel. So yeah, gonna get that tacked in, then get the wing down from up there, get it sitting on there, check it's okay, and yeah, then weld it in, I suppose. Right, so we have the wing fixed to the car and fitting quite nicely to the repair panel that's gone in. So I bolted the wing at its back fixing points, so it's pulled back as much as possible. It's actually aligning or lining up rather much better than I expected on the pre-drilled holes. Yeah, I didn't expect that to be fitting quite as nicely as it is. Gap wise, obviously this is like just bolted all the way back, but there is some movement in kind of the gap profile here. So yeah, not too worried about that. It's a little raised here. So I'm gonna try and knock the repair panel down a little bit just to bring this section down. But again, not too concerned about that. I think the nature of kind of making repairs and stuff is, you know, there is some reliance on kind of filler and things like that at the end to get everything lined up nicely. But yeah, all things considered, pretty happy with that. may look a little funny sped up here, jumping up and down the panel, but all I'm doing is making sure that I am not putting too much heat into one part of the panel. To do this, I'm doing a tack, moving somewhere else, doing a tack there. If one part of the panel gets a little bit warm, then I'm moving to a different part of the panel and continuing that until I've got a continuous bead of weld. The worst thing you can do is put too much heat into one part of the panel and risk warping it, something that I definitely want to avoid. This part of the body is a little bit more forgiving, just because it's thicker gauge steel, but this is good practice for when I finally move on to welding some thinner gauge steel where it can easily warp under too much heat. Right, so that's that panel in and solid. I've taken the welds down a fair amount, but there's no need to really do that because this part of the panel will actually never be seen. On the other side, I have taken it down as much as I dare. I think if I take any more down, you know, I will, well, I guess I'm scared of making the metal too thin. So yeah, I've basically just taken the tops off the welds, and once I've got some 80 grit paper, I can kind of polish that off and make that look nice and smooth. I've also spent some time re-welding a few bits of this. As you saw, I also re-welded a few bits of that as well that, yeah, hadn't quite penetrated all the way through. What I've learned is actually a nightmare welding over weld-free primer. Yeah, really doesn't like it. I've heard the copper weld-free primer is better, but I don't have that, just the zinc stuff. So I've also sanded this repair panel at the bit that we extended down to be nice and flush with this window panel. And the last remaining bit to do is this tab here. So what this does is it folds over this top panel. And if I just go over to this side, you can see the kind of shape of that. Now, the bit over there is not going to be big enough to kind of replicate what that looks like. So, yeah, I'm thinking that I'm going to try and extend that a little bit because I would love for that to look like it's not been touched really. So I'm going to attempt that next, and then that'll be that panel done. So let's see if this goes all right or ruins it. Right, so that's that panel welded in. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, if I'm honest. And yeah, it all seemed to go fairly smoothly. The first big panel that I've ever welded. So it took a while, of course, but yeah, seemed to go okay. It all needs going over with some finer sandpaper. But yeah, we can address that later. The threads need adding in to make sure that the wing has something to actually screw into. But I'll probably tackle that later, I think. And then the next video will be uncovering what's lying underneath that underseal. There's definitely a fair amount of rust under there that needs, repairing and tackling. So yeah, that'll be the next video. But yeah, if you've got this far and you want to see more of it, then please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. But yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers.